Who are the Anunnaki and why are they so well documented in so many ancient cultures and civilizations? In 1849, there were thousands of Sumerian cuneiforms that were found in the ancient cities of Nippur and Sippar, which are now modern-day Iraq. In 1849, a famous archaeologist known as Henry Layer discovered 20,000 Sumerian and Akkadian tablets in the ancient site of Sippar, and a dozen of these tablets were about the Garden of Eden. Anton Parks is actually the person that decoded these Sumerian tablets. What he began to translate was actually a completely different version of the Garden of Eden that we've never heard before. Not only were the words mistranslated, but the actual location was overlooked. In biblical text, we are told that the Garden of Eden is actually a paradise, which is derived from the word paradisios in Greek, and this literally means enclosure for wild animals. The tablets state that the men who served the gods actually worked for them in the garden and were treated like animals. In Greek text, we understand that the humans seemed happy in the so-called paradise, which is actually a concentration camp according to Sumerian texts. In Anton's translations, he discovered the word Karsag, which translates to city of the gods, and the highest points in Turkey are called Karadag. Who are the Anunnaki, and their mission to enslave the human race? When the Sumerian gods arrived on Earth, they actually settled on this mountain in order to create a colony and be able to survive. Many experts believe that they actually arrived here from the Pleiades star system. Apparently they suffered damage on their home planet and ended up on this mountain because of a war, and they had found shelter. Anton Parks, who I mentioned in the previous video, actually believes that they came from here and that the war actually broke out there. He truly believes that this is where the Anunnas were created. Under this conflict, on one side you have a matriarchal regime. On the other side, you have a patriarchal one with all of these new gods. It says on the genealogy of the land tablet, these gods are going to change the way that life gets implanted on Earth. The gods are going to create new conditions for life to bloom for their colony to thrive. The Akkadian epic of Atrahasis and others actually state that the Earth was administered by a conference of gods. It consisted of 6 male and female deities. Out of those 12 gods, there were 2 primary members, Enki and Enlil. Enlil was an overarching and domineering entity who didn't really care about humanity. But Enki actually cared about humanity and wanted to free the human race.